Okay. Your homework, just 4 problems tonight. They gotta get it up after school. Okay, you guys ready? So. Why won't it share? Thing is not working for me. Okay. So students will be able to graph rational functions with slant asymptotes. Can we see in the back or do I need to write bigger? We're good? Oh. So when do we get a slant asymptote? It can only be one. If it's not, then you don't have a slant, right? So this is when you get what? When the degree of numerator is greater than the degree of denominator by 1. Did I record? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there's 2 ways to get the slant asymptote. Well, you do one thing, but there's 2 ways to get there. So you need to actually divide the rational functions. Okay. So you don't have a fraction over a fraction, like a polynomial over a polynomial. You actually got to divide it. Okay. So you're going to divide the rational function. And there's 2 ways we can divide. One is synthetic division. But this works when you're dividing by x minus c. If you have an x squared, it's not going to synthetic division. You can't work when it's x squared. Okay, what we're going to do. And when it's a 2x, like a 3x or a 4x, you can kind of do it, but you got to do some other things. So let's just not use it for then. We're just going to use it when you divide by x. Okay. The other way you're going to do it is long division. You guys remember doing that? Okay. With both of these, you do not need the remainder. So whatever the remainder is, you throw out the remainder. And what you're going to be left with is the equation of a line. Because if the top is bigger by 1, when you divide, you're going to be left with x. Okay? So the equation that you get left with is a line. Okay? All right. Everybody ready? What do we have here? 2x squared minus x minus 3 over x minus 2. Can we, you guys, did we all get the top part? Can I go on? Everybody done? Yeah? Okay, so here we go. Let me blow up for you. All right. So first thing, remember when we're doing this, we try to see if we can factor it to see if anything can cancel out, right? So that, now these won't because we need to have a slant asymptote, but it's okay. Who can factor? I want you guys to be able to get this without doing anything else except for looking at it. Okay. How can I factor that without having to do anything else? Chow, you do it all the time, don't you? Do you factor it? Do you do anything else to factor this? You just kind of look at it and write it? Okay, so Chow, tell me what you do. Okay, this one, right? So this one's easy because you got to figure out what Tony later. What multiplies to 2x squared? Tony, are you even paying attention to what I'm doing? Well, multiplies to 2x squared, all right? So 2x squared is just what? 2x and x. If I had something like 6x squared there, then you're gonna have to try 6x and x or 2x and 3x, okay? So always do that first, and those are gonna be the first things you write, okay? Because when I multiply this, I have to get that first term. Okay, what do you do next, Chow? You just write 1? What? Okay, just here? And then what do you do here? Huh? Oh, this is how you do it? How can it be 1 and 1? What do you do next? Anybody? So you got to figure out what multiplies to this. Okay? Does that have much choice? 3 and 1, right? So 1 has to be positive, 1 negative. So you have choices here. I could put 1 here. I could put 1 here and 3 here. Or I could put what? 3 here and 1 there. All right? So when I'm doing these, I'm playing with these numbers in my head. Okay? So this is what I would do. So I already know 3 cannot belong here by looking at that. Does anybody know why is this not working? Does anybody know why I automatically know 3 can't belong there? Okay, when you multiply this out, doesn't this, that gives you your middle term, the negative x, right? So this would be 6x and this one would be what? X. And I would have to combine those two, right? So 6x and x, is there any way to get a negative 1 out of that? It's too big. So the only other choice I have is what? 3 and 1, right? So if I multiply that to, what do we get? 2x and 3x? And one of them has to be negative. What's my result here? Negative? So I need more negative. So I need the 3 to be what? Negative? So if I put the negative here and the positive here, that gives me my result. Okay? So when you're multiplying these, this first one should always give you your first term. Okay? The first of each. The last of each should give you your last one. And then when you're doing this and those, did you guys learn FOIL, outer and inner? Those are give you that middle. Okay, you should be playing with those in your head. That's how you can get those. We'll practice more. I should make you do a whole bunch of them. Huh? Did I? Oh, did I? Did it become a face? Okay, so this is 3 and 1 minus and plus. Okay. So do I have anything that cancels out? No, right? So, okay, so we're good. We got no holes there, correct? So what is my vertical asymptote here? What can't x be? 2. So my vertical asymptote is at what? 2. Do I have any horizontal asymptote on this one? What's the degree? Bigger by what? 1 in the top. So do I have any? What do I have? Wasn't the point of today having slants? Okay. Do I have any holes on this one? No, right? Okay, let's graph in our vertical asymptote. Where was it at? I already forgot. 2. Can I cross a vertical one, you guys? Can I cross this one? You never ever cross the vertical. Can you cross a horizontal? Yes. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and find our slant. How do I find my slant? You divide. Okay. If I am dividing by just an x in the denominator, I can go ahead and use what? Synthetic division. So what am I dividing by? X minus 2. So we can do that. So what do we have here? We just solve for it. The 0 would be a 2. And then we write our coefficients. So 2x squared minus x minus 3. We just put it there. Okay. What do? I bring down the first number. This is 2. 2 times 2 is what? 4. 3. This is 6. This is your remainder. Okay. So remember when we did synthetic, what was this? This is going to be 1 degree down, right? I was dividing into what? X squared? So this is going to be what? 2x plus 3. Now, technically, you're supposed to be this, 2x plus 3, and my remainder is 3 over x minus 2. Okay. But what did I say about the remainder? Throw it out, we don't need it. So your slant asymptote is this line. Okay. So everybody remember how to graph a line, slope and y-intercept, right? So let's go ahead. Now this is an asymptote, right? So just do it as the dashed line. So what do we have? What do we have there? Y-intercept is 3. Slope is 2. So rise 2, run 1. I can go up to right 1, or I can go left. I'm sorry, down to left 1. Down to left 1, since I don't have much room. And then draw your dashed line in for your slant. This one, I didn't make the graph big enough, so you're gonna have to go out there. You're gonna have to see. Just keep going. Draw it out. I'm gonna draw the other one. Okay. Okay, your 2 asymptotes here. Do you guys see how it breaks it up into 4 different areas? There's one here, one here, one here, and then that one up here, which I didn't leave much room for. Okay, your graph will always be in opposite sides. So either be in this one and the one across from it over here, or it'll be in this one and the one above it. They'll never be next to each other, okay? So you're graphing these, if you're doing something weird and you get one here and one here, you messed up. You're getting points, okay? They always have to be across from each other, okay? All right, so now I have my asymptotes. They help me guide what my graph is gonna look like. I'm gonna follow them. I just gotta figure out where they're at. So whenever you graph something, you guys, it's always just good to see if you can find the x and y intercepts. Those give you easy points to calculate. So y-intercept, what is my y-intercept? When x is equal to 0. So if I plug in 0 in the original equation, I like the original one. Why? Because I just end up with what? 0 minus 0 minus, if I plug it in here, 0 minus 3 over what? 0 minus 2? And what is that? -3 over -2, or positive 3/2? Which is where? 1.5, right? So let's graph our y-intercept at 3/2 or 1.5. So unless I made a mistake, okay, my graph is gonna be somewhere inside here. It's gonna follow those asymptotes. I'm gonna fix this in a minute, and then I'll have one up on this side over here, okay? Okay, let's get a couple, let's see if we can get more points to figure it out. My x-intercept is in what? Y is equal to 0. And, or if y is equal to 0, that means the numerator has to equal to 0. That's the only way I can get a 0 when I divide, right? So what's my numerator? Now I would take the factored one because that's going to be easier to graph or to solve, sorry. My y is equal to 0. So, okay, I want to make sure somebody asked me yesterday somebody said that I did not have a y in my equation. Everybody understand f of x is the same thing as y? Right? Okay, somebody asked me that, and I just assumed everybody understand that though, right? F of x in the equation is the same thing as what? Y. Okay, somebody said I had no y, so where do I put the 0? F of x is the same thing as y. Okay, so what do we have here? X equals what? 3 over 2, or x equals -1. So my x-intercept is at -1. And the other one is at what? 3 over 2, which is 1.5. So I can kind of see the shape in there, correct? I like sometimes if I can find an easy point to plug in, because I know it's like this, but I don't really know where it's kind of turning. So do you guys see I have 1? I don't know what it is. I like plugging in a point. So I'm just going to plug in 1 into the equation. And 1 isn't too hard to do. So if I put 1 here, 2 times, I'm going to plug in any points. Let's do x equals 1. What do we get? 2 times 1 is 2 minus 3 is -1. If I plug in 1 here, that's what? 2, right? If I plug in 1 here, it's what? -1 on the bottom. So what do we get? 2. So I have another point 1, 2. So I'm just trying to get a good shape of so I can kind of guess it's going to be somewhere like. And you're going to follow your asymptotes, your vertical one on this side, and on the other side is your slant. Okay. Now, to be more accurate, you could probably plug in like 3 or something, but it's going to be the similar looking on the other side. So you can just kind of, and I have writing all over the place. Why is it doing this? I have writing. I'm going to erase that. Okay. Now let's check our limits to see if at least we did it correctly, okay? So remember our limit statement at the vertical asymptotes? My vertical asymptote is at what? 2? So what's the limit as x goes towards 2 from the left of my function? And let's just check. Our graph says it should be what? -infinity, right? Let's see if we did it right. Make sure this is a way you can kind of check. So what number can we pick from the left of 2? 1.9? So let's pick 1.9 and plug it in here in my equation. So all we're looking is for the sign, right? So what is 2 times 1.9? 3.8 minus 3. What am I going to get there? Positive, right? 1.9 plus 1 is going to be what? Positive. And 1.9 minus 2 is going to be what? Negative. So what is that answer supposed to be? Negative, so it's going towards what? -infinity. Is that what our graph shows? From the left side, we're going to 2. And from the right side, what number? Let's pick 1 from the right side of 2. What can we pick? 2.1. Well, double 2 is going to be 4 at least, right? So 4 minus 3, my answer is going to be what? Positive. 2.1 plus 1 is going to be positive. And 2.1 minus 2 is going to be what? Positive. So it should be what? Positive infinity. Is that what my graph shows? Okay. From the right side, it's going up, right? Of 2. And on the left side of 2, it's going down. And just to review for the quiz tomorrow, what's my M behavior? What is happening as x is decreasing without bound? What's happening to my graph? It's decreasing without bound too, right? So -infinity. And then what's happening as x increases without bound? It's y is going up, increasing without bound, right? Remember the first day I said it's gonna, if the degree is bigger on top, it's gonna follow the same n behavior. Remember when I wrote this as a over b x to the n minus d? And this will give you, that's your 2x, okay? So it follows the same n behavior as your what? Slant asymptote anyway, okay? Okay. That's your graph there. Okay. We good here? Everybody ready for the next one? Let's do 2x squared plus 3x minus 1 over 2x plus 1. Is the top factorable. It's the numerator factorable. Is it? What? So remember what I just said, our choices, what do we have here? 2x and x. I don't have much choice, right? It's 1 and 1. But one of them has to be what? Negative, correct? And what do I, so this is going to be what? 2x, and this is 1, right? But what did I say? One of them has to be negative. Will you ever get a 3x from that if one of them is negative? So is the top factorable? No. Okay, so that one you just leave alone. What is our vertical asymptote here? What can't x be? What's my vertical asymptote going to be? -1/2, right? 2x plus 1 equals 0, minus 1 divided by 2. Okay. And then, do I have a horizontal one? Nope. Degree of the numerator is bigger by what? 1. Today, you guys, on the notes, there is none. Because we are working on what today? Slants. Okay. And nothing cancels out. So do I have any holes? No. You can have some holes on these. I just didn't make any yet. Okay. So now how do I find the slant? I have to divide them, right? Now when I divide them, I can do synthetic division or long division. This one, it gets a little, it's not that hard, but you have to do something when you're dividing by 2. Okay, so instead of just doing synthetic, let's do long division because I need to review that anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and do long division. So we're going to take 2x plus 1. Now, you guys, it makes it easier. Do you guys notice I have x squared, x, and minus 1? Or it goes in order, standard form. If you have one that is missing, if I write this, x cubed plus 2x minus 1, it makes it easier. I mean, you could do it without, but it makes it easier for everything to line up. If anything is missing, just fill it in with a 0. Because you have to do that for synthetic anyway. Okay, so if any term is missing, if you're going from the highest to the lowest, fill it in with a 0. And that means on the outside, on the inside and the outside. Okay, it just makes your life a little easier. Everything will line up nicer. Okay. Anybody remember how to do long division? You can't, so do you guys remember how to do this? So it's the same steps. Everything's the same. Okay, so what did I do if I'm taking 3 into 834? What? So first, don't you take how many times can 8 be divided, or 8 divided by 3, right? So you do the same thing. You take the first one and divide it by the first one. So what do we have here? 2x squared divided by 2x. Okay. And what is 2x squared divided by 2x? X. So I put x on top, just like you would over here. 3 goes into 8 twice. Okay. Now, what do we do? Boy, it's gonna bother me. What do we do after when we divide? What do I do with that 2 up there? Sorry, excuse me. She's absent. Thank you. Okay. What did we do with this 2 up here after I put the 2 there? Multiply. So we're going to do the same thing. Okay. But instead of just multiplying a number, I have to take x and multiply it by what I'm dividing by, which is what? 2x plus 1. So x times 2x is what? 2x squared. And x times 1 is 1x. Okay. And then what do I do with these here? What do I do with the 6 after I put it down there? Subtract. So guess what I do? I subtract. But you got to be careful. We're not just subtracting one number. I'm subtracting the whole expression there. Okay. So you got to remember you have to subtract both those terms. So you got to distribute it. So I like to go through. So what does this mean? This one's going to be negative. And this one's also going to be negative. You have to go through and change the signs of everything, okay? If you did that division correctly, you see, what do I get right here? 2x squared minus 2x squared. That first one should always disappear. It should always zero out if you divide it correctly. What you get here should always give you 0. Your x squared should disappear. And then what do I have? 3x minus 1x, which is what? 2x. I don't know what I'm touching on my screen. Okay, now, after I subtracted here, don't we bring down the next one, which is 3? So you're only allowed to bring down one at a time, the same thing here, and well, there's nothing else for us to bring down anyway. So what do we do? Minus 1, and then what do? We repeat the whole process all over again, right? So I'm gonna erase this one over here. So now we start again. You take the first one, 2x, and you divide it by the 2x over here. So what is 2x divided by 2x? 1, right? So what do we put up here? Plus 1. And then we multiply again. So 1 times 2x, 1 times 1. And don't forget this part, okay? We're going to what? Subtract. When I subtract, what do I need to do? Change the signs of both of them. You should not get a remainder of 0 here. If you got a remainder of 0, that means over here, you should have been able to factor it and they would have canceled out. You cannot get a remainder of 0 here on that, okay? So what do we have here? Minus and minus. So what do we end up with? Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. Nothing left to bring down. That's my remainder. So what do we get here? X plus 1 minus 2 over what you were dividing by. 2x plus 1. But what do I do with that? I throw away my remainder. So what is your slant asymptote? 5 plus. Everybody remember the long division now? Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and graph our vertical and our slant. Vertical is at negative 1/2. And where's the slant at? I already forgot. X plus 1. So y-intercept is 1, slope is 1. So where is my graph going to be? It's either going to be the left and right side here, or the ones that are what? Up and down. So we got to figure out some points, okay? Easiest points to ever figure for most graphs is to find the what? X and Y intercepts, okay? So what's my X? Let's do Y-intercept first. X equals 0. So what do we have here? Y equals, if I plug in 0, I get 0 plus 0 minus 1 over what? 0 plus 1. So my y-intercept is what? Negative 1. So where's negative 1 at? Right here. And my x-intercept, this one's a little bit tricky here. X-intercept means what? Y is equal to 0, or that's when my numerator is equal to 0. What's my numerator here? We already said this wasn't what? Factorable, correct? How else can I solve this then? Quadratic formula. And I don't know who was it this class who messed up the quadratic formula on their test paper. What's a quadratic formula, you guys? X equals what? Negative B minus 2A. I don't know, a couple people wrote, I don't know, they got the wrong formula. Okay, so what do we have here? X equals what? -3 plus or minus square root B squared. I'm just gonna do that in my head. 3 squared is what? 9, okay? Minus 4 times 2 times -1. All over 2 times A is 2, so I'm just gonna write 4. Okay, this math inside here, 4 times 2 times -1 is -8, but minus a -8 is gonna be plus 8, right? So 9 plus 8 is 17. All right. Well, you can get a calculator on a test, but you actually don't need, you can estimate because we're just trying to sketch, right? Square root of 17. Can anybody tell me what it's about? Well, 16 is what? 4? 25 over here is what? 5? I would probably say 4.1. They're kind of spread out. Okay, if it was like between like two, those are a little bit different, but that's kind of spread out, right? So I estimate 4.1 is good enough. Okay, so this is going to be what? I did this all mentally. I didn't grab a calculator, so I'm just guessing. -3 plus or minus 4.1 over 4. Okay, good enough because we're just sketching the graph. What's -3 plus 4.1? That's going to be what? 1.1 over 4 and -7.1 over 4. Four into 1.1. What is that? 4 into 2. That would be what? 8, 30, 7, 28, 25, 275. Come on, you guys. So let me show you some. Okay, I'll do a bigger number, and then I want you guys. I can do. You guys can do this in your head. Okay. So this is what I was taught when I was in school. Okay. So you're doing the long division, but you're going to do it in your head. So 4 goes into 13. How many times? 3 times, right? So I would write down the 3, and you're doing what you would do in long division in your head, and then you're going to write what's left over. So that's going to be what? 12, right? And what would be 4 times 3 is 12, and what's left over? Just 1. So you put the little 1 here. Because you're going to bring down the next number, which is 15, right? So how many times does 4 go into 15? 3 times, right? That's 12. What are you left over with? 3. But you should know your fourths. 3/4 is 75.75, right? So this is 33.75. That's what I'm doing in my head right now. Okay. So in my head, I can't go into 1. I'm going into 1.1 is how many times? 2, right? And that's what? 8. And then what do I have left over? 3/4. 3/4 is 75. You see how okay? So I want you guys get good at some quick mental math here. So here, let's think about this. 4 goes into 7 how many times? -1, right? How many do I have? I'm going to go because there's another number there. So now it's a decimal. It's what? 3 left over. How many times does 4 go into 31? 7, right? And then I'm out of numbers. So what's my remainder? It's 28, right? So it's 3 left over. So 3/4 is I think my I don't know what grade, 3rd, 4th grade teacher showed me that. Okay, so what do we have here? What's your x-intercept? Point what? 275? And what's the other one? -1 point. All right. So can you guys already see where you can follow the curves here, right? Here's your asymptote, and here's your vertical one on this side. And then this one, oh, you can just follow this one. All I'm looking for is quick sketches here. Okay. This one's a little bit harder to do. Remember that asymptote, the vertical trick I showed you? Because we couldn't factor this. Okay, so this one's a little bit harder, but that's okay. We can just leave it like that. What's my left end behavior? As what? As x decreases without bound, my function is what? Going towards negative infinity, and this one's the increasing is also increasing, right? How much time do we have left? Huh? We can get through? Are we all good here? Okay. This one, x squared minus 9 over 2x minus 4. Can we factor the top? What is the top factor to? And what's the bottom? To what? X minus 2? All right, so does anything cancel out? No, all right. So what's your vertical? 2? Okay. No horizontal and no holes. Okay, when you divide, you guys, the original problem says to what? Divide by 2x minus 4. So we're not going to divide by x minus 2, okay? You can do it, but then you got to take half. I'm not going to worry about that because you got that 2 over there. So just take, what are you going to divide? 2x minus 4. Put a 0 there. The x is missing. I want to see, can you guys get the first one? Last period got stuck on getting the first one. What do I put on top there? How did I get that first term up there? What did I take? 2x squared, I took the inside and divided by what I'm dividing by, right? This last one, how did I get this x? I took this and divided by that, correct? So what are you going to do here? People get all mixed up because it's not some nice number. So what are you going to take? X squared? And divide it by what? 2x. So what does that become? 1/2 x. That's, you can have a fraction up here. What's wrong with it? Okay. And then when you multiply it, 1/2 times 2 is 1, right? So x squared and 1/2 of -4 is -2x. And if you don't forget to go through and what? Subtract the both terms there. Remember, what did I say? This first one, whoops, when you divide, should always zero out. Okay, that should always be 0. If it doesn't equal 0, you messed up what you put up here. Okay, you didn't divide correctly. And 0 plus 2 is what? 2x? Bring down the 9. And then I divide all over again. So what are we dividing? 2x by 2x, which is 1. So what do we get? 2x minus 4. And go through and change the signs. -5. Nothing left to bring down. This is what? My remainder. Do I need my remainder? No. So what's your slant? Okay. So go ahead and go through those and see if you can finish that one there. Are y'all done, child? Graphed it out? Coming today, child? Yes. Oh, before the bell rings. Oh, number 4 is gonna be a fun one. First off, let's see if you can. Everybody remember how to factor x cubed plus 1? Huh? We gotta remember, I'm gonna put this on every test. What is a cubed plus b cubed factor to? What? What's the first thing? No a squared, a plus b. X cubed plus 1 on top. I'm gonna put it on everything from now on. Oh, I should give you a fact. Miss G is giving her algebra 2 a factoring quiz every single day. I should give you guys one. Every single. What? Which part? No, she's starting. She was getting frustrated. They can't factor. So she's giving one every day. I should do that. But I should give you the harder one. And time.
But think about it, you don't have to grade it every day.
I can do it on the computer.
Yeah.
I'll just do it on Delta Math or something where they'll time it for me. Which one? X cubed on top plus 1, x squared minus 9 on bottom. You guys should be able to factor fast. You all done with both of them, man? 4 is kind of fun. I love when my teacher gave me a hard time. You know, in college,
That's great.
I forgot what class it was, but I sat at a bagel store